the Middle Ages, a mace was a weapon. Today it is a symbol of authority carried by the senior academic officer or faculty member. On it are inscribed the Greek symbols for wisdom, benevolence, and courage, the characteristics of excellent leaders. Traditional academic dress derives from the gowns, caps, and hoods worn by medieval scholars. Regular use of the academic gown and hood to indicate fellows of the college dates to the University of Cambridge in the 13th century. The colors show the institution from which the wearer received an academic degree, along with the discipline and level of the degree. Some of the older institutions have colored gowns for special events and a black gown for less formal occasions. However, most use only the black gown. Bell-shaped sleeves with velvet stripes indicate a doctoral degree. Gowns for the recipients of master's degrees have a unique sleeve design, but no trim.
Honored graduates, special guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this graduation ceremony for Paducah Community College. Please remain standing as the Paducah Community College Chorus, under the direction of Norman Wargler, sings our national anthem. Gentlemen, please remove your mortarboards, and ladies, you may do so if you wish. Please be seated. That anthem has such special meaning to us at this time, and I know that we'll remember in our thoughts and our prayers our men and women in Eastern Europe. And now I have the privilege of introducing some special guests. And first and foremost, the mother of our graduation speaker this evening, who has come to this event from Miami, Burl Cheeseman. And Professor Reese's wife, Cornelia Reese. And two members of the Paducah Community College Development Council, Kathy Cornelius and David Denton. And now let me present to you the platform guests, and kindly hold your applause until all have been introduced. Our commencement speaker, Mr. Anton Reese. The Paducah Junior College and Paducah Community College Board of Trustees, Mr. Joe Frampton, Chairperson, Mr. Fred Paxson, Vice Chairperson, Judge William Howerton, Secretary, Ms. Ann Gwynn, Treasurer, Mr. Tommy Blair, Mr. William Dybert, Mrs. Ann Denton, Judge Jeff Hines, Ms. Sylvia Mathis, Mr. Lewis Michelson, Dr. Wally Montgomery, Mr. Robert Powers, Mr. Kenneth Wheeler, Mr. Paul Wood, who is the faculty elected representative, and Mr. Brian Burkeen, who is the student government president, and the deans of Paducah Community College, Dr. Barbara Vesey, the Dean of Academic Affairs, Dean Sandra Tucker, Dean of Student Affairs, and Mr. John Carrico, the Dean of Business Affairs. We thank all of you for your contributions and devotion to this college. Earlier this evening, Mr. Brian Burkeen was selected as the outstanding male student at Paducah Community College. As president of the Student Government Association, he will now bring greetings on behalf of his classmates.
We have gathered here this evening to celebrate the graduation of the class of 1999. Your graduating class will be the last to walk through these gym doors for a graduation during this century. There have been so many different ideas on what the new millennium will bring. The only thing that the year 2000 holds for these students is success. Each of you has made many great sacrifices to get to this point. Some of you had to find part or full-time employment to pay for your education. Many of you had to say no to your children in order to study for an exam or complete an assignment. Several of you had to overcome the fear of technology to complete class assignments using a computer. Many other people had to work on self-confidence to feel comfortable enough in class to ask that question that everyone else wanted to ask but did not have the courage to. The marquee at the main entrance has read many times this year, "Imagine what's next." Can you imagine what's next in our lives? For many of us, this is the stepping stone to a four-year institution. Or maybe some of you are going to enter the workforce. Whatever we may do, Paducah Community College has prepared us very well for what lies ahead. You leave PCC with more than just an education and words written on your diploma. We leave here with at least 2 years of hard work, a desire to keep going when the going gets rough, and more knowledge than can ever be written into a single textbook. We have learned that achieving our goals comes at some cost, whether that cost is less time to spend with family or having to sacrifice certain activities. To get to this point, we have learned that life is not always fair. But somewhere along the way, you have listened to the inner voices. It's the inner voice that has kept us going. That brings me to a quote by Paula Hannah. "Life is a journey, not a single destination. We are all searching for happiness." It's okay to feel lost sometimes, as it is in these lost times that we go inside ourselves and find more of our hidden potential. The next time you feel like your life is going nowhere, take some quiet time to listen to the awesome power inside each one of you. It's there just waiting to come out. To the graduating class of 1999, I wish you the best of luck. And I know inside each of you is that awesome power waiting to come out. Thank you.
Faculty choose teaching as their life's work. The rewards are intrinsic: change, challenge, fulfillment. And these moments come at special times throughout one's career. A student calls you, they write you a note, they tell you what a special moment in class meant, what that change happened at that time. And most times it had nothing to do with the subject matter, but more about their relationship with the teacher. You hear how well a student's doing in their chosen profession: nursing, physical therapy, business. Or you hear that one of your former students has received their PhD and they're now a department chair at another college. All of these are special moments. Seeing you, the graduate, walk across this stage tonight will be another special moment. Each of the faculty will be able to remember something about you, some special achievement that you made in their class that helped make tonight possible. I hear stories over and over about what this faculty means to individuals, how they've changed their lives, both in and out of the classroom. And to me, the faculty at Paducah Community College best typify what I think is so good about the community college: the change that it makes in individual lives and in the community. I can think of no finer group at any college, so please join me in recognizing the faculty of Paducah Community College and saying thank you. Please rise.
distinguished graduates, faculty, guests, friends, and families. Tonight is a night of firsts. For the class of 1999, this is your first post-secondary degree, and hopefully the first of many to follow. For many families here, it's the first time to welcome a college graduate into the family. And to the best of our knowledge and recollection, this is the first time that our commencement speaker has been a member of the PCC faculty or staff. And we're delighted to have speaking to you, the class of 1999, Anton Reese. He is, as most of you know, a visionary leader. He is a much sought-after keynote speaker and consultant who has brought his messages of hope and self-reliance to audiences across the nation. He is an academic All-American, a Dean's List scholar, and a television and radio personality. With these credentials, it is clear that Paducah Community College and the class of 1999 are fortunate to have him as our commencement speaker. It's even more fortunate that Mr. Reese is not only a national personality, he's also the Minority Affairs Coordinator here at the college. Anton Reese came to PCC in 1999, just days after completing his master's degree work in counseling from Eastern Kentucky University. He also holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in communications and broadcasting from Eastern Kentucky, and has earned 24 hours above the master's degree from Murray State University. Mr. Reese is a native of Barbados and served as a radio voice of Barbados from 1986 until 1990. Since coming to PCC, he has been a guest anchor on the television evening news of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, an intern at WPSD TV, and host producer of Minority Focus on our own PCC Channel 2. Through Anton's efforts, our college has more than doubled its enrollment of persons of ethnic background and has been a champion for the rights of all persons at this college. Currently, he serves as the chairperson of the Scholarship Committee and the Minority Task Force. In 1998, Mr. Reese instituted and was, I might add, the prime moving force behind PCC's Prime 2000 program. This effort is aimed at producing the next generation of African American leaders in our nation. He has gained the attention and respect of leaders throughout this state and will be the subject of an upcoming national presentation at the 12th Annual National Conference on Race and Ethnicity in American Higher Education in Memphis next month. It is with a great deal of pride and pleasure that I welcome to this podium to address this distinguished group of graduates, our own Anton Reese.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Trustees, President O'Hara, distinguished guests, faculty, family members, Mom, but especially to you, the graduates of this historic moment, the last class of this millennium. You know, they say that confession is good for the soul. And I must admit to you that when Dr. O'Hara approached me, anticipating a brush with greatness, sweating profusely, he pleaded and begged me to be the keynote speaker. And you gotta understand that here at the institution, we have such a broad variety of talent. I mean, he could have selected Craig or Krieger or Garrett from history, Wallace and Payne from nursing, Don Milley, Teacher of the Year, public speaking guru. But he said, Ton, baby, this is the main event. We need an icon. He says, this is big. I said, well, how big is it? He says, it's bigger than Tater Day. So, reluctantly, I agreed to be your keynote speaker. I had to liven it up a little bit. In all seriousness, Dr. O'Hara, let's thank you for this opportunity, having the confidence in me to present at this historic moment, and I really do respect that. To the graduates, because I know how graduations are. You know, you sit in the audience in black gowns and you're hot and sweaty, probably hungry. You're ready to go, and usually the speakers speak too long. So I have my timer on. I will be brief. And I want to briefly talk to you this afternoon from the theme, Leadership is the Prime Need of the Hour. Leadership is the prime need of the hour. The obvious question becomes, well, what is all the fuss all about? Why are we here? Family members, faculty, staff. As you look around this room, in my opinion, it symbolizes the essence of community-oriented education. It reflects a partnership between sacrifice and service. The Board of Trustees on the platform have sacrificed their time to seek resources and avenues to provide resources to the faculty and staff members here at PCC, many of whom probably could go to private industry and make twice as much money. But because of their commitment and desire to give back to the community, they've chosen this avenue to give back. There are faculty members who are also parents, as the parents are also here in the stands today, parents and loved ones who sacrificed in order for you to have the opportunity for this historic moment. And even as I look across the student body, we have students. This year we had the ambassador program, students who sacrificed and gave service by joining us on the recruitment and the orientation trails to showcase the essence of this institution. The question then becomes, graduates, what is your role in this partnership of leadership? What is your role? Well, first, I believe that you've taken a very significant step. I don't want to minimize the moment. This is a very significant step that you've taken because you've overcome one key hurdle in leadership. It is the ability to overcome criticism and naysayers and still attain. How do I know this? Because as I peek into your journey to this point, it may have been a counselor who said, and I quote, "You're not college material." It may have been a loved one who said, "Well, you know, Cousin Eddie went off, but he wasn't college material." It may have been a good friend who suggested that you will forget your roots. You will become more important than anyone else. Graduates, you have achieved a very significant step in overcoming this criticism. Not only have you showed up in this life, you've showed out at PCC. How do I know this? That's all right. You give them some love. Give them some love. How do I know this? Because you have completed a partnership with the forefathers and the foremothers who were either denied the opportunity or deferred their dreams of achieving a college education. You've honored that through this significant act. But in addition to that, you have set a mark now for your family, your immediate family, a ray of hope, a beacon of light, not just to your children, but your children's children that are yet to come. I'm always intrigued by people's journeys, and this is a very historic journey. You know, as I look back in my own life coming out of the islands, as the chairman mentioned in my background, in my case, it wasn't so much criticism, overcoming criticism. In my case, it was a little different. You see, as a young boy, I was a big fan of radio, particularly radio. And I had this unusual ability to hear voices and just kick them out. As a matter of fact, I got so good at it that when Mom sent me off to school to get a college education, a high school education rather, here I was trying to be the class clown of the century. Whether it was math, literature, or political science, there I was in math class. And you know, in those days, Casey Kasem, that's my man. And I would go into math class and the teacher would say, "Reese, complete this problem, this algebra problem." And I would go, "Sir, I'm Casey Kasem, heard around the world on great radio stations. Here's a long distance dedication. I don't know the answer." And everyone would fall out as you are now. I would go into literature class and we would talk about the Shakespearean period. And the question would be, "Well, Reese, what do you think was a typical diet during these times?" And I would say, Ho, 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 what else? Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes has a taste adults have just grown to love. And then I would go to political science. You know, you learn about democracy and freedom, and you talk about what the presidents, you remember the presidents, don't you? Bill and George and Ronald. In light of the national situation, could you see three of them traveling in a car together? And Bill leans over and, hey, George, Ron, got a problem with Monica. What should I do? And here's George. You know, Ron, I told Bill it wouldn't be prudent for me to comment. You're the elder statesman. What should we do? And here was Ron. Well, George, Nancy and I always knew Bill was an advocate for student affairs. You have a very unique journey. I want you to savor the moment. I want you to celebrate the moment because it's a very, very important moment in this journey. As I shift gears, I'm still raising the question. Leadership is the prime need of the hour. Are you prepared to lead? Are you en route to great and wonderful things? Well, how would we know this? In Tom's humble opinion, they say that you can judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. And graduates, you come from PCC, good fruit. When you leave this moment, whether it's a four-year school or you're entering into the world of work, we don't want you leaving out of here with your heads bowed, half stepping, illin, dillin, and tripping. You walking there looking good, feeling good, and smelling good. You are a PCC graduate. You just don't show up. We want you to show out. I challenge you to step forth with the confidence in knowing that you have been prepared by the best. You can get in and compete. You know, I remember when I came to Paducah in '90, on the recruitment trails with Jerry Anderson as we went around to schools, students used to call us Blandville High and just all these cute names. But you know, through vision and leadership, this institution has been transformed to a point where just this past year, out of 21 schools in our service area, we attracted 14 valedictorians that applied, and 8 came. And this year, through the efforts, we have 16 that have signed up. That's a significant achievement. It says something that leadership can transform things. So I want you to step out with the confidence of knowing that you are in a place that we know what we are doing. But graduates, as I bring my comments to a close, don't confuse confidence with arrogance. One of life lessons that Mom taught, and I've watched her journey from owning a restaurant to now working with the veterans that served in our military. I have a definition of ego that when I share it with audiences across the country, they don't usually invite me back. But I think it is important to share this piece. Graduates, whether it is occupational therapy, physical therapy, engineering, teaching, it makes no difference. Ego is a secret self-congratulation that creates the illusion or false fact that you are indispensable or irreplaceable. You start off humble and focused. You become arrogant and distracted. You used to be a servant of the people. You use your position to break the will of the people, and now they serve you. As a matter of fact, you started off as part of the movement. Now you have become the movement. So, as we get ready to head in to the new millennium, we need leadership that is visionary, bright, humble, and focused to meet the challenges. As we look around our nation, the list is yay so long, whether it's youth violence, Y2K, the list goes on and on and on. But that's why you're here. You are here to transform this world. And I close with this thought. They say that there are 4 types of people in this world: those who watch things happen, those who let things happen, those who ask what happened, and those who make things happen. Those who watch things happen are like spectators in the stands. Those who let things happen, let opportunity and people influence them. Those who ask what happened never knew the talent and abilities that they have. But those that make things happen are the ones that step up to the plate and create opportunities for others to serve. I have a feeling in this audience tonight that there are some of you who have been thinking for a long time about coming back to school. We are an open door institution. This is an open invitation to be part of this great movement. And graduates, as I hurry to my seat, in the words of my mentor of yesteryear, Casey Kasem, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anton, for those words of encouragement and inspiration and humor. As always, a memorable presentation. And I thank you, too, for your 9 years of dedication to this institution. And I promise you, if you'll hang with us just a little bit longer, the future will be a whole lot brighter than the past. So thank you so much for your fine speech.
Will the candidates please rise? Dr. O'Hara, I present the candidates for graduation, and I certify on behalf of the faculty that they have successfully completed all of the requirements for their respective degrees. The first row of graduates may proceed to the stage. All others may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, as the names of the graduates are read, please note that those graduating with distinction have achieved a grade point average of 3.4 to 3.6. Those graduating with high distinction have earned a 3.6 or higher. Students wearing the gold stoles are members of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. Receiving the Associate in Arts, Rebecca V. Barkley. Megan Lee Carter. Terry Ann Castleman. Sheila Ann Cruz. Renee Lee Cummins. Kara Shea Coran. Erica Christie Denson. Brian Glenn Edwards. Leroyce W. D. Flemons. Sherry Diane Goins. Kimberly S. Gatto. Allison L. Hall. Andrew Scott Hevron. Michael Allen Holly. Artez Tyrone Huff. Nicole Deshay Jones. Stephanie Shea Leak. And note that Stephanie is graduating with a 4.0. Tamara Lynn Martin. Charity McClure. Andrea Joan Miller. Carrie Beth Puckett. Thelma Louise Reed. Andrew W. Sexton. Melissa Ann Simpson. Teresa Smith. Kristen Elizabeth Stoffel. Jessica Danae Strader. Pamela T. Thomas. Susan Carol Thompson. Tanya Gale Traylor. Melissa Ray Vinson. Sabrina Kim Warford. LaDawn Arissa White. Timyata R. Williams. Richard W. Wright. Gina Michelle Yates. Gina also is graduating with a 4.0. Receiving the Associate in Science, Jennifer Renee Atherton. Jennifer is also graduating with a 4.0. Kelly Ann Elizabeth Barron, graduating with a 4.0. Amy Carol Collins. Alicia Lavon Craneshaw. Matthew Timothy Coran. Tiffany Joelle Griggs. Deborah S. Gruber. Tori L. Hunter. Stephanie Lynn Jackson. Amber Sue Larson. Sharon M. Lasley. Cheryl Ann Minter. Joseph Rudy Otway. James Lynn Tempest. And James also received the Associate in Arts in the fall. Kevin Michael Underwood. Eva Jane Wilkerson. Congratulations. Amy Rianne Wilson. Receiving the Associate in Applied Science in Business Technology in the accounting option, Grace E. Gary. Anita J. Johnson. Deborah D. Nally. Anne Regina Travis. In the banking option, Christy Ann Feltz. In the management option, Jackie Carlisle Brown, Jr. Nancy E. Jones. Julia L. Cotter. Barbara Renee Lamb. Mona Gail Mathis. Steve Lane Mills. David Grant Sayer. In the Management Information Systems option, Kathy Lynn Burlkamp. Nanette Lorraine Wood. In the Real Estate Management option, Edward S. Perro, Jr. Ruth R. Wooten. Telecommunication Systems Management option, Stephen M. Parker. Nursing, Danette Lynn Bartolo. Christy Lee Blackburn. Amanda Renee Bohannon. Kevin E. Briggs. Hyesha K. Brown. Wendy M. Darnell. Kelly Jean Davidson. Amanda Michelle Edmonds. Shannon M. Hurley. Deanna Michelle Johnson. Mary Ann K. Kindred. Mary Patricia King. Jamie McPherson. Eric Christopher Moreland. Selena J. Ruffin. Elisha Bohannon Shelton. Marika Michelle Thomas. Kimberly Ann Valkersell. Jessica K. Vassar. Millie Elizabeth V. Donna Diane Walls. Lisa Lynn Wachope. Office Systems, Sherry Beasley. Beverly Terry Collins. Jennifer Lynn Fields. Marquita Harned. Shelley Mathis. Ashley Lynn Naranjo, graduating with a 4.0. Jesse L. Powell. Tracy Dina Swain. Chastity Renee Turner. Mindy J. Wiggins. Lisa Wilson. Physical therapy assistant, James Michael Anderson. Linda Renee Balke. Vanessa Gail Barnett. Brittany Ann Bishop. Sherry Cunningham. Mary Alice Elliott. And Mary Alice also received the Associate in Science in the summer. Jennifer Renee Good. Melora Jean Hart. Charlotte L. Jaggers. Misty Lee Roberts. Serena D. Stockton. Corey D. Taylor. Tana Shea Wagner. Kelly Marie Warford. And Kelly also received an Associate in Science in the summer.
Will the graduates please rise? By virtue of the power vested in me by the University of Kentucky and the Kentucky Community and Technical College System, I confer upon you the associate degree. You may move your tassels to the left. Congratulations, you may be seated. And now I have the opportunity to recognize some of the people who made this graduation possible. Earlier this evening, an award was presented to our Teacher of the Year. And our Teacher of the Year this year, for the 5th time, is Professor Don Maley. Don. The Phelps Award for Teaching Excellence is given each year to a member of the Arts and Sciences faculty who has demonstrated the best qualities of the teaching profession. This award was made possible through a generous gift from Clyde and Linnell Boyles. The recipient this year is Dr. Neil Adams. Let me tell you a couple of things about Neil. First of all, everybody knows that the subject of physics is hard, and that goes without saying. The difficult part then is making it interesting and fun. And here's what students say about him. Without Dr. Adams' knowledge and help, I feel I would not be fully prepared for my transfer program and my major. He has gone far above the call of duty to help me. And another student said, Dr. Adams' class is fun and interesting. But Neil goes far beyond the classroom, as good teachers do. He served as the instructor on the Saturday 4+1 program that assists middle school students. He's been the faculty coach for the PCC academic team. He has provided interactive physics activities for area high schools. He teaches merit badges for Boy Scouts. He's developed new curricula, including a new health physics program that we'll begin offering next year. He coordinates the statewide pulp and paper technology program, which was put together so that folks at West Vaco could get associate degrees. He's chairman of the Community College System Program Development Committee, and he's chairperson of PCC's Innovative Beyond Einstein program, a program that has a goal of nothing less than producing an entire new generation of West Kentuckians who are schooled in mathematics and science. Neil, again, congratulations. This year, there is a second teaching award because the Board of Trustees of Paducah Junior College saw the need to recognize the other half of our faculty, those who teach in technical areas, a very vital group indeed. The first ever recipient of the PJC Outstanding Teacher Award is Lisa Houston. Let me tell you a couple of things about Lisa. First of all, she's an excellent teacher. In fact, she's an exceptional teacher. Student comments are things like principles of management is hard, but I love it. And we work in groups, and every member of the group participates. The hands-on learning in Miss Houston's class really works. At the program and system levels, Lisa promotes academic excellence. She represented all the colleges in the system in the development of the general education competencies for all students, and she revised the general education curriculum for the entire state. As the coordinator of the business technology programs, she worked successfully with faculty in all 6 programs. She piloted a new program review for the state of Kentucky which the state will implement very soon, and she developed class schedules that enable degree students to graduate on time, which is important to students, and non-degree students to achieve their course-specific objectives. In short, she's a student-oriented individual, and of course that's what a great teacher is. And Lisa is the first faculty member to choose to regularly devote a significant portion of her workload to the continuing education and business and industry departments of the college. And because of her activities, the Corporate Center for Corporate Training at the Information Age Park is thriving, and we have now blended that with West Kentucky Tech's continuing education department. Lisa, congratulations and thank you for so many years of wonderful service. Each year I have the privilege of selecting members of the college family to receive the President's Medal, and unlike the last two awards, which carried with them a check for $1,000 each, this one carries with it my sincere thanks and a medal. It's no secret that this college has achieved great things in this decade. It's pretty well known, but what may not be well known, and probably isn't, is that there are some folks who really deserve the credit for that. And much of the credit for our tremendous success goes to our Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Barbara Vesey. In 1991, when I met Dr. Vesey, she was the director of the nursing program at Paducah Community College. And she was the first representative to the Kentucky Leadership Academy. Her leadership project was to assure that the integration of the Kentucky Tech allied health programs with the PCC allied health programs in the new building, which opened in January '92, went very well. It is an understatement to say that blending went well. It not only went well, but is now going to be the model for the entire state of Kentucky, and certainly a model for us as we consolidate with Kentucky Tech. And then as Dean of Academic Affairs, she created the first in the nation degree program, which allowed students from the technical school to earn 30 to 34 credit hours at the tech school and then transfer to this college and receive their associate degree. It took 4 years to make that happen, but she stayed with that program, and now it too is a model for the entire state of Kentucky, and the entire state is looking at blending its technical schools with community colleges. And in the area of business and industry and continuing education services, Dr. Vesey has led yet another revolution. Today, our continuing education department serves thousands of individuals and is located at the Information Age Park. Meanwhile, she has overseen the development of new programs and, most importantly, represents the faculty extraordinarily well. It is no accident that one of the highest priorities of our college is to assure that our faculty have the tools and the environment, and most of all, the respect that will allow them to excel. And Dr. Vesey assures that that happens. In 1996-97, she served as acting president of this college, allowed me to devote my attention to other matters for that year. And when the Crowns Hall building opened, Dr. Vesey was asked to oversee the integration of Paducah Community College and the University of Kentucky, which she also does extraordinarily well. And finally, Barbara Vesey has a fantastic sense of humor. She is a marvelous friend, and because my wife is here, I will tell you I love Barbara Vesey. I look forward to many more years of serving with her. She is an extraordinary individual and a great dean. The final award goes to an outstanding citizen volunteer. And that citizen volunteer is David Denton. Let me tell you a couple of things about Mr. Denton. First, David Denton served as the fundraising chair for the engineering building. That campaign remains the single most successful fundraising campaign in the history of community colleges in this nation. He not only raised the money, but he inspired us throughout the campaign. His speeches and one-on-one visitations helped us to rally unprecedented community support. He has served as a valued advisor to me on a personal level and on a professional one. And David doesn't always tell me what I want to hear. In fact, he most often tells me things I don't want to hear. But I think that's what a good friend and advisor is. I once said to a mutual friend, few people raise my blood pressure more than David Denton does. And therefore, few folks make me think more or think better than he does. Throughout the engineering campaign, we encountered numerous, sizable, seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And it was he who came up with plans, most of which I didn't want to hear, that allowed us to clear those hurdles and to be successful. And it was David Denton who spoke before the Rotary Club of Paducah and convinced our friends there to donate $100,000 to the building project. He is always prepared to speak up and to speak up for Paducah Community College, and it is to David Denton that I can always turn for advice and guidance. David, you have not only helped to shape the presence of this college, but also you're one of the beacons that is shaping its future. Thank you. And finally, let us not forget that this night is for the students. They have accomplished great things. We are so proud of them. One of those students who came across the stage is part of the PCC family, and you probably heard a lot of outpouring and a lot of cheering from our crowd, because one of our family worked in her spare time and worked hard and achieved that degree. We're so proud of her, and we're so proud of all the students, and we wish you nothing but the very best that this world has to offer. Again, congratulations. Now please rise and sing with us, My Old Kentucky Home. And then, if you will allow the recessional to pass, and then join us for a reception, and please join us for this reception honoring our graduates in the Student Center.